The 1970s. What a time to be alive. Queen was in their prime, Vietnam was ending, Watergate just happened, and the hippie movement was proclaiming free love, world peace, and opening our third eye. Just imagine it. Rock and roll, the arts, sex, psychics, and the CIA? Just why was the US government spending money on remote viewing, a type of psychic ability, when the rest of the world was calling for peace? Tonight, the guys ask, what is remote viewing? How did it change the Cold War? And how has it changed our lives today? Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Guys Ask podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about remote viewing, which I know is a topic that a lot of YouTubers and celebrities have been looking into recently. And we're going to talk about, what it is, what's happening with it, and why the CIA was trying to use it to spy on the Russians in the Cold War, not World War II.
Oh. We got a new person joining us as well.
We do, yeah. So thank you to Cade for joining us, or They in the Trees.
Hello.
I still haven't decided whether we're going to use our real names or not.
Well, you already said my name in the podcast, so I've got my name. And look, as long as you don't spell it right, I don't care.
We've used my name too, but it is what it is.
I'm okay with people knowing my name. I'm Cade. I think everyone's name has been used.
So this is Cade. He's a friend of ours. He's coming to join us today. Cade, tell us a little about yourself.
6'4", 250 pounds.
Absolutely.
In the corner of the
ring. Not even in the slightest. I'm Cade. I'm 21. Live in Utah with these boys. I don't know. I don't know what else. Here for a good time. Don't know anything about astral progression. Projection, not progression.
Don't worry, it's hard to say. We get it.
Not a long one.
But astral yeah, that thing. Remote viewing.
Astral progression.
That's the term that the normal non-hippies use.
Remote viewing. Remote viewing.
Scientists.
Yeah.
Scientists apparently use astral projection as well. So yeah, Cade, you say you don't know anything about remote viewing. If you had to make a guess, what do you think it would be about? Just curiosity's sake.
Well, so I can't say I don't know anything because I read the little paper you sent. But so, it's very.
Oh, you did?
It was very kind of hard to, because there's a ton of stuff blocked out, and so it wasn't really too easy to completely understand. But this is kind of the gist of it, I guess, that I got, was that you somehow are there. It's kind of like teleportation, but you're not actually there. Where it's kind of like you can see everything. And you can describe it. And I know Conan was talking about it before we started the podcast about that people could do it in dreams. So I guess it would be kind of like you can see something, like you're having a vision of a certain place. And assuming that it seems like the US government has tried to use it to spy on people.
You pretty much hit it on the nose.
Yeah, it's like, if you want to put it the hippie way, it's you ascend to the astral plane, and then you can watch our world from wherever,
Is that what so what is the astral plane then? Is that something that is important to this?
I have no idea.
Isn't that the fucking $1 million question?
If you can figure that out, I think you can charge $1 million for the
Whoa.
Oh,
We didn't hear anything you just said, Conan.
I think you got to calm down a little, Conan. You're clipping a little bit. You just went straight
I'm in
robot.
the car, so.
Anyone who's looked at the Patreon at the original video for our first podcast knows Conan and recording aren't really the best of friends.
Yeah.
It's like last time when we didn't have you mic'd, you talked way too quietly, and now that you're mic'd, you're like screaming into your headphones and garbling all the audio.
I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna ear rape anyone today. All right.
That is the goal, I guess.
Well, that's appreciated.
Hey, how good are we at adding bleeps to this, huh?
I can't. I could probably add them afterwards.
Okay.
Just a big old.
Well, because I've already scored, and I'm not sure how the YouTube algorithm will take the word rape.
Is ear rape a? Even if it's like combined, I mean, there's literally videos that like are like that's the title.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Well,
But maybe they might not like that. And those probably aren't monetized.
Fair.
Assume.
as a reminder, we are a mostly family-friendly channel. I would say we're a PG-13 on a good day. So
I think y'all are gonna drop a little bit with me here, but
That channel. It's like only side boob, not full front. Just side boob. All right.
So, and as a reminder, what's it called? We do not support any kind of molestation of people's ears.
No,
Anyway.
yeah. It's a slang
just
word. Go
gone
look it up
off without a hitch here.
on Urban Dictionary. I promise I'm not doing something I shouldn't to
This
people's
is
ears.
a great
What's it called?
topic.
Right.
That's what they all say. Should we get back on topic? All right.
Let's do that.
Okay. Also, I just wanted to make a disclaimer, just because I know that this is going to come up later. Just from what I've digged into recently, we don't support or condone anyone using illegal substances or dangerous substances to try and perform remote viewing.
You can do it sober. You want to attempt.
Obviously, we want y'all to be safe and happy out there, and don't try to use drugs to look at other places across the world. Just don't do it. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it.
Just
man.
take a plane ride, bro. Just get on a plane.
That does bring up a good point, though. All throughout history, we have had things like oracles or psychics that use some kind of a psychedelic to bring themselves to a higher state of being, in heavy quotations, in order to approach this subject. Oracles would sit over natural events, putting out some kind of a what's the word I'm looking for?
It's usually poisonous gas. It's like
It is a
methane
poisonous
stuff.
gas, but it has an effect on the brain, which causes
They
hallucinations.
were like huffing methane that was coming out of the center of the earth, or like sulfur dioxide.
I was thinking more like a peyote sort of deal, but well, now if we're talking about illegal substances, this is actually some place that I might actually have a decent amount of into. Like this actually is my thing.
Are we getting some confessions going on up in here?
That might be a little bit, but I mean, Conan and Tyler already know. But
Now it's going to YouTube, baby.
at least from what I have experienced, it's not as controllable. Now, of course, like I said, I don't know anything about. I'm going to try to say it. Astral projections. Astral projections.
Projection.
With it, I think there's a little bit more
Round of applause.
to it than just, we're going to take this drug and we're going to go to the astral plane. Because at least being on drugs isn't super controllable, like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
But
so funny story. I have an article pulled up on how you do remote viewing, but I'm gonna wait. I want this to keep going, and then we'll compare the two.
So, like Cade mentioned, I was talking about before the podcast. I'll just bring this up now. My mom used to work in the Philippines on a military base, and she met this girl that was like they were working with her to use astral projection or remote viewing to spy. Like they were trying to help her cultivate it because she couldn't do it at will. Like that's the thing. It's like she'd wake up, she'd go to sleep one morning, and she'd just appear somewhere, and she could travel around. Like it, she said it felt like she was traveling, just like floating in the air, and she could like see things and see stuff, and then she would like ask them about it, like, "Oh, hey, I saw you out walking last night. Did you like walk last night?" He's like, "Yeah, I was out jogging at like 12:30," and so. Yeah, I thought it was weird because my mom was like, "Yeah, the military was working with her." I'm like, "The military?" And then I was like, "Hey, if I was a military officer and someone said, 'Hey, I can go to sleep and then wake up somewhere else and then actually wake up and be in my bed.'" It's like, well, damn, that would be a good spying technique. So,
Okay, if I was a military officer and I heard that, I'd think that they needed to be put into a loony bin.
yeah, but what if you could test it and it was actually real?
And this, you also got to think this is, because your mom was in the Philippines in like the 80s,
The height of
90s.
MK Ultra.
It was. I mean, it's not too long ago, but it's also like, the 80s were a time where people were on drugs all the time, and maybe they could have
Yeah.
used that to their advantage, right?
Yeah.
And again, she didn't really know this person. She just talked to her once, and they had a really long conversation about it. And then I don't think she ever saw her again. But
I wonder why.
no, not like that. Like yeah, she
Maybe she went to the astral
emerged
plane.
into the astral plane of 6 feet under.
She went too far. It's like
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah, she
Inception.
went too far.
If you die there, you get lost there.
Went in limbo.
Hate it when that happens.
Yeah. Just the worst. You ever been stuck in the astral plane before? Let me tell you what. They know Marriott.
Mm-hmm. Well, so I just
So-
looked it up.
go
Really,
ahead,
the
sorry, my
only
bad.
difference between what that lady was doing in remote viewing is the intensity. So astral projection, it's not the same. But what it is you actually, unlike with remote viewing, you leave. So you'll for example, you'll go to sleep and wake up in Amsterdam, and you're not actually awake, but you're wandering around. You can interact with stuff. You can go into buildings. In
Okay.
this, go ahead. Sorry, I was just gonna say according to astralstep.com,
Oh, this sounds like
it says
a really reputable source right here.
A really-
Astralstep.com.
Oh, for sure. How astral projection differs from remote viewing, whereas in an out-of-body experience, the practitioner experiences consciously leaving their physical body to transfer their consciousness to the astral. In remote viewing, the body remains in the same location, and instead, the individual gets a view of a location in real time without being there in
Okay.
consciousness.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so it's very similar. It sounds like this lady can
Yeah.
actually travel.
So she used astral projection when we're talking about remote viewing, where it's just like they're setting up cameras.
Right. It's like watching Cabo on YouTube instead of actually traveling to Cabo.
So when they would actually travel there, in that sort of sense, they could interact with objects and other stuff.
Interact with objects seems like a bit of a stretch. Because you're
Didn't
not
say
physically
that, but
there.
I imagine.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But they
that
could-
seems. I feel like if that was
Okay.
something that was happening, we'd know about
I mean,
it.
poltergeists have always been a thing in mythology, but
Yeah.
That's true. Maybe poltergeists are just people screwing around.
I'm a firm believer in ghosts, and I think that could definitely be.
Maybe it was just his neighbor then, the poltergeists. There's some psychic screwing with this guy. He's like, yeah, they're having another episode of Ghostbusters. Let's go mess with them.
The original neighbor didn't trim the tree on the other side of the fence, so he decided he was going to become a poltergeist and harass this guy. Welcome to our new section
The
on
ultimate
the podcast.
payback.
Really obscure revenge.
I will not leave your house until you trim the tree.
Throws mirror on the ground. Trim the damn tree.
Speaking of poltergeist, I watched Paranormal Activity, the first one, over the weekend. Now we're like way off topic, but we embrace the chaos.
Yeah, we are.
It's fine. And that was kind of super cheesy. I was like, the stuff that was happening in there, only like 2 or 3 of those things have I ever heard them actually happening in a paranormal situation. But like in the movie, the poltergeist was like setting crap on fire. It was like teleporting photographs from 15 years ago into reality.
There have been reports of pyrokinesis by poltergeists, right?
None that I've read. You know, it's a common trope. The idea of like,
Like,
it's a demon that
it.
sets stuff on fire. But I haven't actually ever seen that. Yeah. Or like an
I mean, that
electrical
could
shock.
also just be the result of like a gas leak. All of the above could be.
Or just psychedelics.
A lot of psychedelics are flammable, so yeah, the poltergeist.
Well, no, I meant like the guys were on psychedelics when the thing was happening.
That's my point. There's a psychedelic in the air, creating the image of the poltergeist for them, and then it catches on fire. Maybe that's.
Is this some CIA pumping
Related.
LSD into the water supply?
Into the water supply? Does it work? I've never had LSD before, but does it work like that? Can you get it through drinking?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
All I remember is there was this this crazy homeless man that I ran into in New York City.
This is going to be a good one. I can tell already.
And he was it was when we went to New York with the
I wasn't on that trip.
You weren't on that trip. Okay. Well,
nope.
Yeah.
I only went to the Cali one.
So, Colin, do you remember when we went to visit the 9/11 Memorial, the museum?
Yeah. That was really. There was
a crazy homeless guy standing on the corner there who was saying that a CIA operative that was not him was a different CIA operative.
Oh, so the crazy homeless guy was a CIA operative.
I can't confirm or
was
deny
he undercover?
If Tyler went into it, the guy would have to come and kill us, so it's fine.
Someone else who then told me. But this guy was trying to convince people that a CIA operative came out and said that the CIA pumped gaseous LSD into the sewers of New York City. And they just detonated cutting explosives, which is what they use to take down buildings inside the towers.
Wait.
Towers.
What, LSD?
Wait. Then why would they launch planes into them, though? That doesn't...
That's the cover story.
Oh, my God.
Seems like a whole lot of waste of resources. Like, that's... If they're going to explode it, they might as well just explode it and then, like,
Tyler,
that's
are you pro gaseous LSD conspiracy theory?
I don't know how that would ever work. And I feel like it would have killed a lot more people.
One second.
I feel like
I'm gonna see if you can
dying in the street from too much inhalants. If that was the case,
I'm looking up if you can inhale LSD.
Or like eating closed buildings.
I don't think you can. It has to be.
Anyway.
It has to be contact with the
Let's
skin.
get back to astral projection. Hey,
maybe the homeless guy was astral projecting. You don't know.
Maybe he was there.
So remote viewing. How do you guys think that? Since I've looked into this a lot before, but how do you guys think that you actually remote?
I don't think you do.
I think that's
okay. So you're pro that you're con or you're against it.
Yeah, I haven't seen any actual proof of it. Nor have I actually talked to anybody who has claimed to have done it.
Okay.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I agree. 2 points.
That's his viewpoint, right? What about you?
This is what I think. I have never met anyone either that has,
astral projected.
I can't say it. Astral projected. I've never met anyone that is astral projected
Or remote
remote
viewed.
viewed. I'm just going to start saying remote viewed. But I know, at least personally in my life, and this isn't science even whatsoever, I'm just completely going off of my experiences, is that, I mean, I'm pretty sure that we've all had those dreams where we dream about it and then it happens in the future. Maybe that's only me.
No,
where
Okay.
you dream about something and you find yourself in that exact same situation, and of course that could just be you, just
That's
it could be a
happening.
psychological thing and all that.
Yeah.
But I think that there's something behind that there could be. I think there is a greater force here where you can, and we've heard of out of body experiences and that kind of stuff where that could be a possibility. Now, the idea that I think that that people are controlling it to spy on people, I don't know if I completely believe that. I don't think you can control these sort of situations. I think it is like it happens sometimes that you can maybe, whatever you believe in, maybe the universe or whatever that is, maybe it's trying to, show you what you need to know.
I may not believe in it personally, but I am open-minded to the idea. If I saw some kind of proof or even was like witness to a test or heard a testimony on it, I'd be far more
What about
receiving to the idea.
Yeah.
But even looking online, I haven't actually seen anybody claim that they could do it.
Okay. So yeah, and that's a good point. Sorry, go ahead, Conan.
No, you're good. You're good. I kind of agree. So I'm on both sides. So the thing that the kid said, I have had those dreams. Like I have had dreams where I explicitly saw something in the dream, and then it came in real life, and it was a legit dream. Like I wrote the dream down because I was like, I think this is going to be important, and then it happened how it happened in the dream. And so but also, like, all of the dreams that I've had have been because I need to help someone. Not because, like, okay, so just to give you a little, I am religious. I'm not going to go into it very deeply, but I am religious, part of who I am. And I don't think you can do it for your own self-gain. Does that make sense? So I think that there is a higher power, and I think he could give gifts like this, like astral projection and remote viewing, but I think they're only used for a certain purpose that he gives for that, or she, or whatever, whatever you want to believe in. And in this instance, I don't think you can control it. So I'm kind of, and again, I've never heard of anyone doing this, except for the person with my mom. And again, like, if I could hear like a testimony, I might believe it more. And like, depending on the situation. So I'm kind of in both courts. It's like, I don't think it's possible because you'd have to be doing it for your own gain, and that kind of just doesn't kind of work with me.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
I also believe that maybe using certain substances, and even like the U.S. government is really, well, it's kind of an evil thing that they're really good at using these sort of things and doing psychological warfare and all that. But I could see them using something to maybe act as a catalyst of some sort to be able to do this. And it could just be just people tripping. But
and just coincidence that it that's how it happened. Like they saw a building on fire in this certain city, and they happened to name the actual city, but they were just tripping balls, and they just named a city, and there happened to be a fire that burned.
And it could even be prior experience too.
Now,
like,
here's another interesting thing. I do believe that the human mind does subconsciously exert some pressure over the world.
Okay.
My own experiences have shown that, as we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But it's not something that.
And again, I don't want to bring up we don't have to bring up like a religious or debate or anything like that. I didn't bring that up for that. But yeah, sorry.
I think this is I think there's a couple facets to this, right? Because a part of it is religious, like we're talking about, like
Spiritual
shamans
abilities.
and oracles and stuff like that, spiritual abilities. I think there is part of it that is, that we do have to bring up some kind of spirituality here, because it is a huge chunk of it, right?
And knock it up to spiritual ability or just like psychic prowess or whatever you want to bring it. But whatever you believe, it kind of works the same way.
So I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna share some stuff with you guys, but before I do that, is there anything else that anyone wants to say?
No,
Okay.
that's just my opinion.
Well, I appreciate
so.
I appreciate all the different opinions because it helps us give it helps us build what we're all thinking about this, right? I'm gonna offer you guys a challenge, not really a challenge, but if you want to see this in action, I would either watch Conspiracy Theories with Shane Dawson in 2022. Shane Dawson is a YouTuber, and he actually does it. He actually has a remote viewing session and sees things or describes things, because that's really what this is. At least from what I've understood of it.
So to that, is there proof that it's actually real things? Like, how is it done? How
we're
does
gonna
he
get to that. We're gonna
do
get to
that?
And then the next thing, the other one where you can go look at is a podcast called Boundless Remote Viewing by Astonishing Legends, where they actually try that in the episode, and they are able to pull details of a picture that they have never seen before. So the person running the session will find a picture of, I don't know, a dog and stick it in an envelope and then hide it so that the people who are actually doing the remote viewing don't know that it exists. And then they start the session, and the remote viewers will actually pull up details about a dog. Is how I've seen it done before. I don't know how the CIA was doing it, but that's how I've seen it happen recently. Is people they won't get anything concrete, but they'll get details. So they'll get brown and furry, maybe the word bark. They'll just get random words here and there. And then once you look at all of the words from a 5,000 mile viewpoint, it starts to show something. Seems to be what's going on. So I've seen evidence of people. Now again, one of them was a YouTube video, so they could have edited out parts where they were talking about it.
Yeah.
But
I was actually going to make that comment of both the podcast and the YouTube video, they are made for entertainment purposes.
That's true. Yeah. And
so
they could have
fudging results in order to make a more entertaining content is something that's entirely possible.
That is totally possible.
Did you Tyler, I've got a question. Did you see any YouTube videos or podcasts where they tried to do it and failed?
So I haven't yet.
I was thinking.
Okay, so that right there for me kind of shows that I think they edited it just for the reason that I think a cool episode is if we could try it, and we just put it out there.
Yeah.
Put it out there even if we failed. It's oh yeah, it didn't work for us. And so I don't know, maybe for a later episode, maybe even just a 5-minute video, we could do some more research into it, and I can be the proctor or whatever it is, or whatever. Or
I'm not willing to send my mental state out of my body, so I can do proctoring as well.
Okay, if you're not
willing,
I'm willing to try anything as long as it doesn't have to do with psychedelics. No.
I'm the same way, so I'll try it
if no drug
if John wants to be the proctor. If he didn't want it,
is there any this might be a good segue. I don't know if I want to use this, but is there any showing of people trying to do this and having their mental state or their psyche changed?
I don't know how you would test or check that.
So it just I think it just the people around them would be hey, he's just a little
something
different.
happened, right?
You wouldn't notice it.
It's just
You'd
modern day psychology, right? Just be
like a psych eval or something like that, and having a you've had to have one before, a constant, a control.
Yeah.
And then after you do the test, you could maybe see different after you do the the projection, then we'd have to go back and see it. That's if we want to get really scientific with it, figure out if it actually works, which I don't think we're willing to do. So that's even if it works. But yeah, sorry.
No, you're right. And I guess for people who will listen to this later, Conan is joining us remotely, which is why it sounds like he's talking through a fan. He's talking through a cell phone.
Remote technology though, not remote.
No, he's
astral.
not astral projecting into our podcast. That would be a video.
I actually am. All right.
He's here with us, not physically, but spiritually.
And do you think there could be? So, guys, that brings up a point, though. Do you think this could be scientifically explained? So
I'm certain
we're talking
that there
about
is.
spiritual and like psychic stuff. You think that there could be a scientific explanation for it, like that our brainwaves are getting turned into electrical signals, and then because that's how a radio works. I was just thinking about it. It was like, or a telephone. They turn electrical signals they turn vibrations or sound into electrical signals, and then they amplify it and turn them into radio waves. The radio waves are picked up and turned back into electrical signals, and then turned back into sound. Now that has to do if we're actually seeing stuff, or if the stuff you were talking about is just like stuff coming to us. Maybe it's something with light. Or something like that. I don't know. I'm just being
right.
I'm certain that if there is any truth to it, that there is a scientific explanation. However, I don't know if we have the current technology to explain it scientifically. If there is truth to it.
So yeah, and I'm with John on this. I did some thinking on what might be a possible explanation that you could scientifically prove in probably 50 years. You couldn't do it now. But I'm confident we could with another 50 years of technology, and I'll explain that at the end. But I'm with John. I think that if it exists, something is happening in the mechanics of reality that's making it exist. It's not magic. There's some kind of scientific principle that's being practiced that we have yet to fully flush out, if that makes sense.
I'm a firm believer that magic is just technology we haven't figured out yet. Because if we took a cell phone, even 70, 80 years into the past, it would be magical.
Like we have the brain mapped, but we still have like...
Yeah, probably.
Like the brain's so complex, it's like we still don't know everything about it.
So just because we're just on this topic, I actually found, like I said, I pulled up this website, and it actually goes through a list of specifically what you need to do to remote view. It's a step-by-step list of how to do remote viewing. So I wanted to share that really quick so we could just talk about it. So the background, and I guess the background of this, at least what I was reading on like Wikipedia, is that when you put yourself in a certain mental state that's empty enough, you'll start receiving new information from outside sources. So how this would work, at least according to Gaia, which take that for what you will, but here on Gaia it says, trying your eyes at remote viewing. First, select a range of targets. So, a couple pictures of places, people. It says here they should be real-world pictures. And then it says in here, don't pick targets that are offensive or disturbing to the viewer. But, so you pick a range of pictures. Or you pick...
Wait, I love how they put that in there. Because some idiot's got to have put, like, their dead mother or something like that. Wiener. And they're, like, picking up, like...
I was thinking more like the girl down the block, but
Conan, I was thinking like when we try it, just like choosing like some kind of pornographic picture or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking some kind of Peeping Tom sort of deal.
Me, I'm not going to. I wouldn't actually.
Yeah, please no porn. Okay.
Well, I was thinking like that would be cruel. It's like their dead mother, and he's like,
"Oh God, that's so mean."
My dead mom is talking to me. It's like we're not talking about a medium. We're talking about remote viewing. So yeah, sorry.
So no dead people.
That's okay.
No penises. No porn. Real world objects such as people,
no gory
architecture,
stuff.
Or nature.
Well, hey Tyler, people who do porn are people too.
We don't judge on this podcast, so take that for what you will. But that's step one. So you get your pictures right.
I have a question though. Does it have to be a physical picture, or could it be like on a
So,
screen?
in that video, the conspiracy videos one, they do both. So they do printed out pictures, and they just pull up a screenshot on Google, and it seems to work in both cases. I'd be curious to try that out. Like
Okay.
maybe we do a live one where we like go to like a, I don't know, like a library or something, and have John take a bunch of pictures.
I mean, it wouldn't be too hard to just set up here on the computer
Let's
as
go through the
well.
steps, and then we can, then we can decide. So, ask your assistant to put the images in an envelope, so you hide
Well,
them.
let's finish the steps first.
And then you, in this case, if you're doing it in person, you put them in an envelope and you stick it face down and say absolutely nothing to the viewer. And then you ask them to view pictures one at a time. So you tell them how many pictures there are, and one at a time you have them try and view them is the goal. Step 3, you want to quiet your mind so as little mental noise as possible. I know a lot of people will like scribble, or they'll like tap their hands, something to quiet their mind as they're trying to do this. Step 4, let go. So it says write down a date, time, and any ideas you want to let go that may distract you while viewing. And then finally, after that, that's when you start the viewing. And you call the first target into mind. And the goal is, this is what a remote viewing instructor I was listening to was talking about. You don't want nouns. You want verbs. You want descriptions. That's what you're looking for. Oftentimes, if you name nouns, it's like you name specific things, you're probably wrong. But you're looking for just words that describe, what's it called? Words that describe what the picture is.
Like adjectives and
yeah.
doing
Verbs.
Adverbs.
Next one. It's funny they put this in. Do not second guess yourself.
Well, that might be a good thing, because it's like, well, maybe it's this. Well, no, maybe it's this. That's an important step, I think. You just gotta, the first one that comes to your mind, you're like, all right, it's this one. It's just like, hairy leg. All right, it's hairy leg. We're going hairy leg. It's like.
Well, that'd be a noun, though.
Yeah, so like hairy. Or whatever.
And then all of a sudden you're like, no, it's not hairy. It's smooth.
Yeah.
My issue with these instructions is the one where it says "let go." That's such a vague instruction.
I was gonna say something about that. It's like, what does that mean?
Hey, it's about. I think it's about. So I do meditate, and it seems pretty similar. The way I look at meditation, and I'm going to go into this really, really quickly, is your thoughts are like a freeway, and normally what you would do is you chase after those thoughts. If you're just thinking normally, and you'll get into a car, and you'll drive that car around for a little bit, and then you'll get into another car and drive that car around for a little bit. With meditation, you need to park on the side of the freeway, pick out a big boulder, sit down on the boulder, and just watch your thoughts go by. Because your thoughts will not stop. That's just how your thoughts only stop when you're dead. And so you just have to slowly let your thoughts move on down the freeway. And so I think that's what they're kind of saying is let go. It's kind of like just let your thoughts flow. But don't dwell on them. So it's, yeah. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. And I think that's what they're talking about here. It's like they don't want you to think about your bills, your homework, your girlfriend. They just want you to like clear your mind and see what comes to you. Is kind of the idea. So after you've written down these words, and that's what they recommend doing, is write them down immediately as they come to mind. Just start writing words down. And then start connecting the dots. So it says information is coming from your mind and autonomic nervous system. Wow. The idea is that your unconscious already knows everything there is to know about the target. It just has to communicate that to your conscious mind It does that through your body with very subtle sensations.
Hey,
and
Tyler.
feelings.
Do you
What?
have a screen capture program on your computer?
I do.
I was just gonna say I don't have that program. So if you wanted to proctor it, you could actually let people see you
Okay.
finding these images as you go, so that they know it's not predetermined.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah. We'll get through the. Why don't we do this? And it'll be a great way to end out the podcast. Let me read through the rest of these steps, and then I'll lead you guys through one, and we'll see where it goes. All right.
Oh, I'm down with that.
So I'll do.
Everyone except for John.
And
John
what I'm
probably
gonna
doesn't want
do,
No, I'll give it a
is I'm
shot.
actually gonna save.
Okay.
And obviously, there is at least critics I've heard that are on like the spiritual side say that you are opening yourself up to the idea of like other presences and other wills trying to control yours, which is why no one has to do this. Like, if we don't want to do this, it's fine. It won't make that big a difference in the long run. And I want to tell the audience, in case people are listening later, we're doing this live. So I am gonna find a bunch of pictures, and then I will record them. I'll record a video of me showing them off later, like what I chose, and then we'll compare later on. So these pictures are being chosen right now as we're talking. I did not plan this beforehand. So step 8, describe it. So write down the, as you're seeing the words, start to try and figure out what's going on. Like, what are you smelling? What are you tasting? And then try to zoom out even further. Is there anything around this target that makes you think, like, you notice about the target? Are there people? Is it like snowing? That kind of stuff. And then draw a sketch of the target. You can also write down words. I've seen that done as well. And then end the session. So those are the steps. Do you guys want to try this?
Love to try it.
Yeah, I'd be down. Do you want to write down our stuff?
I was thinking that y'all might do direct messages to Tyler.
So this is
Okay.
how we're going to do it.
No.
I'm actually going to pick the same images for all 3 of you, so you're going to do it at the same time.
Okay.
So we could do that, or you guys could just write them down and then screenshot it and send it to the group chat later on. But either one. If you send them to me, like if you text them to me, I'll load screenshots. Though it might be easier just to grab a piece of paper, write everything down, and then post it. And we'll do all the review at the same time.
Well, here's what I was thinking. Like, you start the session, and then they can send their words to you, because they're supposed to write them down immediately, but they can like send them to you in a direct message, so they're not influenced by by anybody else's words.
Okay.
I do think that I'll pass on this one for now.
Okay. Cade, Connor, are you up to it?
Okay. Because I'm in a car right now, so I'd have to type
the
it out.
astral plane.
All right.
Yeah, I'm up for it.
Wait, should I
Alright.
get some Zen music going?
Yeah, get some like
Here. I'll have to invite a new bot, like a music bot. But
some Kid Cudi.
Some Kid
That's a
Cudi.
joke. I didn't.
wait, no, I probably shouldn't do that because I don't want
It's,
to deal with copyright stuff.
Just do a Kanye gospel song. Come on now.
I will. What's it called? I will add some copyright-free music in the editing process while we're going through this. All right. So, while I'm looking at pictures, I'm gonna look up 5 pictures, and then I want you guys to clear your minds.
That won't be too hard for
while
Conan.
I'm doing this. Okay.
Oh,
That's it.
wow. Okay.
Wow.
Ooh, shots fired. That's okay. I pride myself on having an empty head. All right.
Clear
I wouldn't describe
mind.
it as an empty head. It's a much better one. I'm very clear-minded, not just. My head's pretty empty.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's not a lot going through there.
All right. So I'm almost
Okay.
at my house. I'll probably just wait till I get inside. So we're like pulling up on my driveway. So
No worries. I'm just pulling up pictures right now.
just give me like 1 second. I'm just getting out right now. So. All right. Sick.
What's that noise?
Oh. That was Conan calling me by accident.
I did not mean to do that. My
Hey.
finger slipped.
Hey,
I
John.
figured.
Since you're not doing the
What's up?
session with them, do you want to pull up some pictures as well? Okay, just
Sure.
pull up like 2 or 3. We'll do like 8.
Okay.
Alrighty. You know, actually, pull up 2. I have 3 pulled up, so why don't you pull up 2, and then we'll do a total of 5.
So we have 5 different images. Do they all have a similar correlation?
Nope.
No.
So, and we're just trying to find one of the images.
Well,
So, go ahead. Sorry.
as I understand it, what you're going to do, there's going to be 5 images total,
Okay.
and we're going to basically tell you to look at the first image, then the second image, then the third image, then the fourth image, then the fifth image.
Okay.
And for every image that we tell you to look at, you're going to write down words that you feel about it, or think, or hear, or whatever.
Okay.
And then once you've got your words, you're going to basically look at the words that you've got and get an idea of what it is that the image was based on the words that you put out. Is that about right, Tyler?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm putting in the instructions in the chat.
So in this really isn't remote viewing, because like, what happens if I just come up with words and a word just pops into my head? I'm not really seeing it, but it's more of like a like I'm getting hints about what it is.
Yeah, I don't know if I would consider this as remote viewing or even astral projection so much as
But maybe it's more of a like, it could be like a tier where like you have to start with this, and sooner or later you can maybe start
Like
seeing
training
stuff.
wheels for remote viewing.
Because this isn't like, you're not viewing stuff, you're not seeing it, but I guess you could come up with hints about what it's like. A psychic could be.
now.
It's like, yeah.
I think that Tyler and I actually have something to do with this too. I think that we need to have the image that we're wanting you to look at actually up on our screen while we're asking you to look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I understood it.
Because it could be like a connected brain sort of deal where like you can see it and we're connecting to what you're seeing.
Yeah. So in that case, this is what we'll do. We'll each take a turn. John, do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
Go for it. I've got 2 images now.
Okay. Alrighty, gentlemen, are you ready?
I am ready.
Conan? Okay.
Yeah,
Clear your minds.
I'm clear. So
And hopefully you have somewhere to like write this down, or something. That's what everyone that I've talked to said works best, is to actually like draw it or write it down on a piece of paper.
I didn't think about that. Crap.
That's why I was saying send your words to Tyler or myself in a direct
Yeah.
message.
And then you can just send us a screenshot.
Well, I don't want to pull it up on my phone. It's like, what happens if I have a text on my phone and my mind doesn't go clear, right? So I'm just going to write it down on a piece of paper.
Alrighty. Gentlemen,
Okay.
let's begin. Alright, guys. Cade, Conan. We're going to end it. Oh, you sent me a
I
picture?
should have just sent you a picture.
Okay.
Just barely.
yeah.
I went 2 different ways
Okay.
with this, but I felt
How
pretty
did you
confident
send
about
it?
both of them. So
All right.
Text it
I'm
to
gonna
me.
send you a picture as well.
I just texted it to you.
Put it in the Discord. So both of you.
Do you want me to text it to you or put it in the Discord?
Yeah, I was
Now, were you guys looking at one picture or 5
I-
pictures there?
I was looking at one picture.
I was looking at
So,
one
Cade,
picture,
Can you load it
Okay.
and send it?
but I got 2 different things. So I have no idea.
This is weird.
Yeah.
John, this is weird. This is gonna
I
blow
don't
your
have a Discord
freaking mind.
app,
Okay,
though.
load Cade's. This is weird. Yeah, he put it in the rules section.
Okay.
All right, so I sent mine. If you want to send it to me, Kate, I can put
So
it
yeah,
up.
actually, Conan, put yours in the actual guy's ask. Oh, hello. So
Did he
post
put
it in
his in
like
the
the guy's
Discord?
ask text channel, because that's where I'm gonna put the picture.
In the rules section, okay. You got a lot more. I think I got one word that was similar to you, but what's up, Colin?
Okay. Now, before we do this, tell me what were you guys thinking? What do you guys think that you saw or you were like thinking about? Tell me, based on what you wrote down, what is it? Um, Cade started to describe one of them. Yeah.
See, I got so here's
Yeah.
the trick. I first started off and my mind was clear and I got hairy and I got thumbs, which I know is a noun, but it was describing something. So I put monkey and I was like trying not to focus on the noun. And I thought monkey was the first. And then all of a sudden, like I cleared my mind again and I started getting like a cold metal cylinder of some sort.
This is weird. All right. What about you, Conan?
So I got like the same things over and over again. The first couple of them were just like colors. And I was like, what the heck? Just colors? But then it started getting into the same rhythm and it just kept repeating like 4 or 5 of them and then they'd add another one and they just keep repeating them. So I don't know. I don't know. Uh,
Okay.
so
Oh, I just got chills, guys. This is weird. Oh, this is so spooky, guys. All right, you ready to see the picture? So this was your first image. How spooky is that? So you not all the words match, but you got like cold, round, tall, monkeys, green and blue.
Okay, so the Taj Mahal.
That's weird. Like this guys, this is weird. Like I don't
And monkeys are from India. You got monkeys in India.
Is
Lots
this
of
not weird
monkeys.
to anyone else?
That's pretty sick.
Crazy.
No, that's pretty dope. I mean, I was envisioning more of like a cylinder or like a tall metal like cylinder of sorts.
an airplane.
That's wild.
Yeah, I was thinking airplane also, but or something similar to that. But I also got monkey, so who knows where my mind is at.
That's
That's the
Taj
Taj
Mahal.
Mahal.
So mine, I don't know why. At first it was just yellow, green, blue, and then round. Well, it was first orange and then round. And once I got to round, it was like loud. What the word was deafening. Is the thing that came to my mind. But then it like changed to loud, and I was like, okay. And then loving. I don't know. And then I was like, maybe like a mother's bosom. I don't know. And then it went to deafening again, and then big and round. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's okay. And then loving
Calm kind of
again,
makes sense there
and
too.
then fast. Something that I thought was weird is before this, like around the first time it said round, it said W. And I was like, what the freak? Why W? And so then it said W again and then fun. So I don't know. It was just kind of because I've meditated a lot, so I can clear my mind really quickly. But then nothing was coming to me. And then all of a sudden, all this stuff came, and I was like, oh, okay. So, yeah, that's green and blue. I don't know. You know, I thought it was gonna be like an airplane for some reason. And what even is that? What even is that? Is that the Taj Mahal? Yeah, he built the Taj Mahal for his wife, right?
Yeah, it is a burial for the wife. It is a tomb for the wife he loved most.
And so that's where the loving came from. The deafening, that's really the only one, and it's kind of shaped like a W too.
I just got chills.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, that's sick.
there's
Okay,
a
I had no idea.
W.
I had no idea.
I could see a W built like in the negative space
What?
there. Ugh. And you want to know what's even crazier, Cade? So you said made of metal. The Taj Mahal is one of the first buildings that used iron supports inside the walls.
That was pretty crazy. I wasn't. Sweet.
Yeah, no. I promise anyone who listens to this later, this is being done live. And I'm going to load this entire thing into... I'm going to load this entire thing later. In fact, while I've still got this pulled up, I'm actually going to pull up my Zoom and I'm going to start screen recording as well, so that people don't think I'm just BSing.
Hey, Tyler. So I've actually got to head out. Do you want me to send you the 2 pictures that I found, or?
Yeah. So John's heading out, but thank you for joining us, John. I'll do the last 2 with these guys, and obviously John will be back with us next month when we do our next episode. But yeah, send me the pictures.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit record. Okay, so people are seeing I am recording this live.
All right, I sent you the pictures.
All right, sweet. Thank you, John. Thanks for being with us.
I'll be interested to see what the results are.
Yeah, so John, I'm actually gonna post this live on Patreon, and then I'll send it to you as well, so that you can see it.
Okay.
Alrighty. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it live on Patreon. So we are setting up a Patreon for people who want to join. But I'll also send the live video to all you guys so that you can see this as well.
Okay.
Well, thank you, John.
Take care, guys.
See you later.
Yeah. John. Thanks, John.
So,
alrighty.
I'll be curious to test these. Yeah, we're grateful to have John. He's kind of our resident skeptic. He's more skeptical than the rest of us, which I appreciate. Alrighty, Jen. So for these next 2, I'm going to give you 2 minutes each per picture, and then we'll just do the same thing. So clear your mind. Are you ready for your next one?
Yes.
Alrighty. So I'm going to put myself on mute for a sec so that you guys don't hear what I'm about to say to the camera. But start your remote viewing session starts now. All right, for everyone who's watching the recording here, as you can see, that was the first picture, the Taj Mahal. This is our second picture that we're choosing. Now, they don't know what these pictures are. We chose these at random in the start of the episode. So now we're going to give them 2 minutes and see what they come up with. Just as a second rejoinder, obviously, please do not try this at home. Let me rephrase that. Don't try this at home using illegal substances. We're not using any kind of mind-altering substances at the moment to do this. And we don't want anyone who's watching our show to be harmed because they try that. Okay, I will be right back when the timer's over. All right, I'm back. Get a chair for this room. Or just move my desk in here. 2, and 1. Guys, that's your time.
Okay.
Send in your pictures.
I don't know. I'll send
I
it.
don't-
I'm just gonna
I
text
don't-
him.
I don't know about this one, but
I don't
yeah.
know about this one either. I got kind of distracted and foggy headed. It wasn't as clear.
Yeah, mine was clear. It's just freaking weird. So
There, I sent them into that chat. Y'all want to put them in the Discord? I need to get the Discord app, but
Yeah, and I apologize. I got up and left for a second, so that might have not helped.
okay. Yeah, I'll put it in the Discord.
I gotta start using colors.
Well, mine was weird. I started out with the same colors. That might have just been me, but I wrote them down anyways.
Okay, so well, this is interesting because this was your second picture. It was a tree.
Yeah, I wasn't getting that.
So, but there's
some stuff to mine that is. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, it's an older. Oh my gosh, that is. Okay, so can I explain mine?
Sure, go ahead.
So mine's yellow, green, and blue. That's the first three. I don't know why I did the same thing in the same order, and then it said dexterity. That doesn't have a lot of dexterity.
Yeah, that doesn't apply to this.
And then it said bendy, but strong.
So a tree.
Yeah. Then it said lengthy, and then it said falling apart. There's part of that tree that's dead.
Is there?
Yeah,
I mean,
look at it.
Branches poking out.
Yeah,
they
they
have
don't have leaves on them.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a couple dead branches there. Okay, I can buy that.
And then W started coming up again. I don't know why. And then it said left to die. And then I don't know. It said hardworking.
So that those were probably when your mind started to wander.
Yeah. And then strength, working, feeling, and then broad. So none of that stuff really. Yeah, my mind was kind of like I was trying to clear it out and just kind of go with it. But yeah. So but I didn't imagine a tree. I didn't even know what I was going with it. So I don't know.
Well, it seems like that's what.
To use something with this.
Well, and from what I understand, the idea is to not try and define it, just to find details. And then as you gather the details, the picture will start to appear of what it is. But what's interesting, Cade, did you guys feel like your mind was starting to wander about a minute in?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I got super foggy.
Yeah, my after falling apart, then it just kind of went.
Because, and this might not be anything, but I actually got up and left after a minute. I had to go put something away. So that might have something to do with it. It might not. But that's just really interesting for me to see that as soon as I left and I was no longer looking at the picture, all of a sudden your words stopped making sense, which is interesting. Anyway, are you guys ready for the next one?
I am.
All righty. Conan, you ready?
Yep.
All right, gentlemen, I'm going to mute myself. Clear your minds. Your session starts now. 30 seconds left. You know, for anyone who watches this video later on, it's kind of interesting to see that even though not all the words match up exactly, like they weren't saying tree and they weren't saying Taj Mahal, the feelings and the description seem to be very similar. I don't know what that means or if it means anything, but it's kind of making me think that there might be something less spooky, something a little bit more concrete about this. Alrighty. Gentlemen, your time is up.
Okay. Mine's freaking weird.
I didn't get a lot there, but we'll see.
Well, we'll see what happens.
I just kind of go how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I just write down everything that comes into my head. So
That that seems to be what is how you're supposed to do it. Is
okay.
just whatever words come to your mind, you just write them down. You don't question it. You just write it, everything down.
Okay, good. Kate, are you sending yours to the group chat?
Yeah, I put it in there.
Oh yeah, just got it.
Okay, you want to post it, Conan? All right.
Yeah, I got it.
So those are your words. This was your third image. All right. Excuse me.
Dogs.
So that was the third one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's nothing. I thought it was something see-through, like I don't know, it's like it was weird because like it started out like glass, like clear looking through, feeling graceful, fragile, limber, opening, feeling open, loving. I
Yeah.
don't know why loving keeps coming up, but
Yeah, I mean, I think I might have gotten something similar at the beginning. I think the biggest thing is every time something comes into your brain, just write it down. At least for me, I kept second guessing myself.
Yeah.
Like it was very much like, oh, like it wouldn't be that because we just did something like that. You know, like that kind of stuff.
okay.
The first one, I was just going like, okay, whatever comes to mind, comes to mind. And then the last two, I'm like, well, it couldn't be the last one. It couldn't, you know, like you've got to switch it up somehow, that kind of stuff. And I think that's at least where mine came from, because I more imagined like a bird or something black and sleek, like a penguin or something like that. And I didn't, obviously that's not even close to
Yeah.
the dogs.
Honestly, I'm not even imagining anything. Like I'm just trying to figure out what words are popping into my head. And I don't know, maybe I got too focused on that this time.
Yeah. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe you were so busy trying to find the words that you missed them. What's interesting though too is like the first one was dead on. The with the Taj Mahal picture, y'all got some stuff that was pretty right on, but it seems to be getting farther and farther away the further we go. Because like in the second picture, Conan got a couple, Kay didn't get any. And in the third picture, you both are kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
But we do have two more to try. Let's just see. For these next two, try to focus more on like just keeping your mind clear and just kind of catching the words instead of
Write down whatever comes to mind.
Yeah, everything.
Okay.
Are you guys ready?
I'm expecting more than 4, Cade.
Well, I'm trying to keep it not like a ton of words.
Oh no, you want tons of words. Because that means you're not
Okay.
you're not picking them. You're grabbing all of them. You're not like trying to pick and choose which ones you think they might be. Just write them all down.
Okay, I'm just gonna let it fly.
Yeah, exactly. All right, gentlemen, are you ready for your next picture?
Yes.
All righty, your session starts now. What is a little weird though is with Cade's last set of images of words, sorry, that he came up with, they seem to fit this a little bit more than the previous one, like black, sleek, metal seem to be fitting this particular picture. I don't know how well these last two are going to do, to be honest. The dragon one, because it's not a real world object, may be a problem, but we're going to try it. This one, I think, might actually, we might see some crazy results with this one because it's pretty clear what the image is. It's a white background, so there's nothing else to pick out detail wise that is not part of the image. Gentlemen, that's your time.
Alrighty. That was weird.
Okay.
I like couldn't get my head blank, and it took me like half the time just to get my head blank.
That's okay. I mean, it might take longer than usual. So
Yeah,
when
I
it
know, it was weird.
I got a dumb amount of numbers, so we'll see.
Numbers? Holy crap.
So we'll see. It's more than 4 though.
That's good.
Conan, it's really hard to read your
Reading my
handwriting.
handwriting. I'm writing them down really fast. I'm not taking my time. And I'm really bad at spelling, so.
You did get, actually, I'm not going to say anything until we get Cade's.
Cade, yeah, until we get kids. Are you, sending that? Alrighty.
Okay. So those are what you guys thought of. And then again, as a reminder, like you want to find descriptive words. You don't want to focus on what it is. You're trying to figure out what you're seeing and feeling that might describe the image. So
Oh, feeling too. I didn't even think about that.
this was the 4th image.
Okay.
So there was a couple. No, there was a couple. So like Conan had black. This, I think it's a karambit knife. If
That's not a karambit.
trade knives.
I have no idea what kind of knife it is, but it's not a karambit.
I think
Yeah.
it is a type of blade from like Asia.
It could be. I don't know. I just was letting it like I was just like every time something came into my head, I would just put it down.
Yeah.
You and I both got blue. I don't get it. What's up with colors, bro?
I don't know that.
I think it's the first color I put down. But
so the reason I was doing black and like nothingness is because I just couldn't. There was nothing coming into my mind, and so I was like, maybe that's it.
Maybe there is an image.
Like honestly, my head's starting to hurt.
Well,
I don't know if that's happened to you, Conan. But
I'm dummy tired now. I'm like dummy tired now.
Like it's so hard.
Yeah.
How do we do, Tyler? How do we do?
I feel like you did okay. I mean, you got a couple words. It wasn't. I'm beginning to think that you guys are tiring out. So,
do you want to do one? I could proctor one.
Sure. Let me get a piece of paper and then we can switch. The last one was a dragon. So
dummy hard.
Yeah.
To keep like your brain clear while also like trying to catch the things that pop into your brain. Like it's so much harder than I was expecting.
Especially for us, us guys who are really hard at focusing.
I couldn't clear my brain.
Okay, let me go grab 2 pieces of paper and then we'll try one for me. So when do you guys pick an image?
So I already have the image.
Okay.
So
Alrighty. I'm back.
So I'm just gonna do a timer.
All right, give me a second. Okay, I'm ready.
All
Tell me
right,
when.
your session starts now. All right, your session is done.
I don't know what this is.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna text this to you, Conan.
Okay.
Because my brain went a couple of different places. And from start to finish, I had no idea where I was going. I was just like, oh, I'm getting pulled. It felt like I was getting pulled. Like, do you remember when we did that thing? We were out on like a youth camp, and someone was like guiding us when we were blindfolded. That's kind of what it felt like. My mind was being pulled a couple of different directions, and it got spooky towards then. I'm gonna be honest.
Alrighty, I just got your image, so I'm going to put it into the group chat.
So post mine and then post what the image was.
Yeah. So here's yours.
Okay, I see it now.
Okay. Yeah. And here is the image.
I didn't get like anything right.
Well,
It hasn't even loaded for me yet. What is it?
yeah, it has no. Oh, there we go.
Oh, it's your guitar. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, if you look at the stuff around it, there's a green shirt. Force. What do you mean by force?
I don't know. It was just like the first word that came to mind was force.
Okay. Red. It's a red guitar. Blue. White. There's a white pillow and a white plate. What is that? Sharp?
There's blue on the plate too.
Sharp. Yeah, was the next thing.
So my strings are really sharp when you play the guitar.
Oh, I
So
see.
music, sharp is, when the strings are too tight on your guitar, you play a note that is sharp, right?
Yeah.
Bright, long. It's kind of a long guitar. What is that? Airy?
Airy.
Well, it's a hollow body.
It is a hollow body.
Yeah. So dots.
Dots was kind of interesting because I'm looking at the picture. Like the pillow in the background has like dots on it.
Yeah.
The flower on the plate is kind of made up of dots.
The frets, to mark the frets, there's dots.
Yeah.
What else did you have? Happy. I'm happy when I play the guitar, but not like a good happy. Usually when I'm playing my guitar, it's like, what is it? It's like I'm always writing a song, and they're always usually depressing. So.
So not happy even in the slightest is
Is what you're trying to tell me.
I'm happy because
you're happy while you're doing it.
Yes. Evil and
But
pain.
then it leads into some serious.
We are in my house. I did take a picture of my house.
Yeah, I don't know. Your house might be hot, but I think like my brain was starting to wander into some places that it shouldn't be. At that point.
Okay.
It's still kind of spooky.
How you cleared your mind? You just scribbled?
Yeah, I was just scribbling.
That's smart. Something to do.
Well, because it's I wanted to try it because I know it's what the Hollywood psychic does when he does his readings, or the Hollywood medium, sorry, when he's like talking to dead people, he'll just like scribble. But I was like, it kind of numbs my brain, so maybe that's a good place to start. But yeah, so overall, I would say we got 2 out of 5 images? 2 and then like partially, so like 2.5.
Yeah, because Tyler did get some stuff right. I do agree with that.
Now, do you think that part of this is we're just saying words and there's a chance they connect something?
I was gonna bring that up because a lot of people swear by horoscopes, but the problem with horoscopes is they're just broad. They're broad statements that can pretty much go with anything.
Conin's clearly a Capri Sun.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Know what I mean, right? And so it could be the reason they don't want us to use specific nouns is because they would
Disprove it.
screw it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, disprove it. Because you want to use just verbs and broad statements. It's like, well, then you could put up an image and there's like 1 billion things that could be that thing. You know, it's like we just have to.
And you could just put object. You put object, and it's like there's going to be an object. I mean, there's an object in every single picture that we have had, right?
Yeah.
So it could just be that.
Well, and so that was one thing that I have heard about in another podcast, which might apply to this. I'm gonna bring my microphone back here. Is the idea of like subconscious desyncrasies. So it's like your brain is just putting words together. And it just so happens as a coincidence that they agree with the pictures. The first one, the one of the Taj Mahal, it seems like there were a little too many coincidences for my liking. But these other few, I think we were reaching a little bit. So maybe that could be one explanation, is the fact that it's literally just random coincidence.
And did
Personally, go ahead, Fun.
sorry, yeah. I'll tell you after. We sorry, it just distracted me. What were we talking about?
I'll go on.
Yeah, just keep going.
I mean, where my viewpoint is I believe. I mean, it's pretty easy to be a skeptic at this point.
Yeah.
Just from the tests that we did run. But I do also believe that there's something to it.
Yeah.
And what I was feeling is I was more clear when I was trying to put myself into Tyler's shoes. Whenever I was just like, all right, I am Tyler sitting at a computer screen with a picture in front of me. What is that picture? And I think this is less about maybe projecting yourself someplace else and maybe seeing more through other people's eyes, in a sense.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm going to stick with is I don't think you can just go put yourself on top of Mount Everest with just, the will of the mind. But I do believe that there is a connection between us that we might be able to get certain things, certain hints from what other people are seeing and viewing and experiencing.
So I want to kind of take a similar route to what you Arcade, but my final conclusion is that I do think this not really disproved it, but like the way we did it, not the way we did it, but like the outcome, like that first one, yeah, that was pretty crazy.
That's pretty spooky.
But like the couple of the other ones that we did was like, I don't know. It's kind of a long stretch when we're like saying some of these words for the things, the pictures.
Yeah.
But what I think is that the power of the mind is very powerful. There's a correlation between people who get better from long-term illnesses, between people who are depressed and sad all the time, than people who are happy and cheerful and more hopeful. So I think that your mind does have a power to not control, but like force your way in to those type of situations. And it might be able to, kind of like how John said, to affect the world, but more just see more of it.
Yeah.
That aspect. So I think because our minds are very powerful, and we're maybe detecting Tyler's thoughts, or is seeing what he's seeing, or we're just there seeing what he's seeing. We're trying to focus on it, so that's what it is. But I do not think that we're going there.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's it'd be fascinating to see what are like do an EEG on like 3 people and have them do this in separate rooms.
Yeah.
I think that would be, I don't know. This is, again, I'm going off topic, but I don't know. I think it'd be fascinating to look at what's going on.
Yeah.
When this is happening, literally.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you guys there, where it's not like, originally when I heard the term remote viewing, I was thinking about it as like, oh, you're like building the, what's it called? You're like, it's like I was thinking about like a satellite, like you're taking snapshots. But I mean, with this first one and with the other people that I've seen do this, it seems more like you are tapping into whatever the assistant is thinking about, because the assistant knows what the things are. They know what the images are a lot of times. And so it seems more like you're picking up on what they're thinking about rather than you're actually going there and you're actually like looking at the image. And the reason why I'm kind of leaning towards that as well is, if we go back to the second one with the tree, Conan, a lot of your words were like, not all of them were coming through, but a lot of them were on point until I left the room, until I stopped looking at the picture. And then all of a sudden they were all over the place. Yeah. So it makes me wonder if maybe, and this is something that I actually I'm going to read more about, and maybe we'll discuss another episode, but the idea of the collective memory, where we as a group of individuals, as a human species, were putting information out into the world just that we're thinking about, and through like tweets and pictures and words we're saying, that data is being collected and is just kind of hovering around, which then lets you as another person, if you're in the right frame of mind, to pick up on that data. And then when that data is no longer there, you don't know it anymore, because that stream of information is not coming in. The reason what I said at the start of the episode is why I think we'll be able to test that scientifically in a few years is we already know from experiments at places like UC Berkeley and Harvard that you can encode data into light and electrons. If you slow them down enough, you can actually write information on that. And in 50 years, we may be able to read that information. We can't do it now, but it makes me wonder if there's a part of this, this whole remote viewing thing where it is just you picking up on the thoughts of others who are, because you're both thinking about the same thing, you're starting to pick up pieces that their brain is sending out into the world, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And you're also focusing on them, not just any other random Joe Schmo that's sending out weird pictures from their brain.
Yeah.
Also, some of these remote viewings that you've seen, the proctor, the person doing it, they put the image in an envelope.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're not looking at it. It might just be that they're like thinking about the picture, but I think it'd be cool if the proctor were to just try to clear his head and we were to do it and then see what the results would be.
See what happens.
Yeah, but again, that's for the later time.
Another day.
Don't be tired.
Yeah. It seems, I mean, I don't know about you, I felt pretty exhausted after that one. It was kind of tiring. And maybe that's part of it. Maybe the reason why the first one was so clear was because you were using all your energy on that and you didn't have anything left for the next 3. But anyway, so that's the end of today's episode. So thank you everyone for listening, whether it's on YouTube or hopefully in the future live when we're doing this on Twitch or some other recording service. Like and subscribe. subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell if you want to find out more. And if you like this video, please leave a like and let your friends know about it. Help us out a lot. Thank you. This is the Guys Ass Crew signing off.
Hey guys.